Hi, it's Melissa Jenner here. We're coming up to that time of year again, end of year. For many people, it's a holiday period. Maybe you're going into the new year with a conversation coming up with your manager on the year ahead. One of the most important things for you to be able to do periodically, possibly at this time of year, is communicate with your manager really clearly what your needs are. And a lot of people really struggle with this. So I want to give you this really quick little tool here to go away and have a think about as you go into the new year. And it's really simple. It's just a simple triangle. You'll notice it's cut in half, and I'll talk about that a little bit in a second. But what I want you to think about is your needs in 3 layers, okay? So at the base level, these are your non-negotiables, okay? These are the things that really matter to you, are important, and you really want your manager and your organization to be aware of these. Because ultimately, if you can't get these fulfilled, it's going to cause you a lot of unhappiness. So you really want to be clear in how to communicate that. The next layer up is what I call your satisfier needs, okay? So assuming that you get the base needs met, there'll be a whole bunch of other things that'll be really nice to have, right? I'm sure you're thinking of a few already. And then the last layer is what I call the delight layer. I mean, these are really the prize, right? These are really the things that, you know, if you had everything else that you had asked for, it'd be really great to have this as well. But one of the things we can often confuse is we confuse the things in these layers, and it makes it really difficult for managers and organizations to be able to meet your needs. So I want you to think about in the base level here, maybe 3 or 4 things. In the satisfier level, maybe 2 or 3 things. And up here, if you can, just 1 or maybe 2, right? So some pretty obvious examples of things that might be base non-negotiables for you might include, say, a pay rise. They might include, say, some training materials. And maybe it includes like maybe a mentor or something, someone that you can learn from. In your satisfier level, I don't know, nice to haves could be something like more flexible working, maybe some benefits, or maybe you want to work on a gig project, or maybe you want to get a association membership or something like that. At the top here, it's really like cream on the top, right? So assuming you got all that, what would be like a really great thing to have? So it could be the opportunity to participate in a community group on some time off. It could be something like your company sponsors you to do a fun run or something. But these are the things that you're prepared to trade off, right? If you're not going to get your satisfier and your base needs met. So be really clear in how you communicate this, and make sure you get this met first and then work your way up. Because a lot of people, really confuse this, and it makes it very difficult to get what you want. The reason why I put another side on here is that I really want you to also ask your manager to do this, right? So what does your manager need from you? What would they really like for you to work on if you had extra capacity or time? And what's something that would really set you apart from maybe somebody else in your team? This is a really good little exercise that you can do, and you can ask your manager to do in advance of maybe a career or a performance conversation, because I know from experience that a lot of people struggle with this. Needs puts us in a vulnerable position, right? We feel like we are being vulnerable, asking for something, being needy. But the reality is that you can't assume that your company or your manager knows what you need. So by writing it down, being really thoughtful, thinking about the language that you're using, and showing them that you've thought through a process and created a hierarchy will set you up really well for that conversation. Hope this helps.